Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Hey besties, hey, it's Behind the Shade, and baby, we gotta talk Married to Medicine. Tonight was the season finale, yay! And there's only two parts to the reunion, yippity, yay, yippity, yippity. But this is season 12, episode 14, Med Gala Mishaps. Child, not lemon pepper wings at the gala. Oh no, Toya, no. That was so, and it seemed like that's all that was there. I'm sure that's just what they pointed out and highlighted, but it's like, bruh, they look so crazy in their tux, suits, gowns, eating chicken wings with a bone in their hand. No, girl. So, Jackie, here's my advice: hire a professional party planner for next year. Okay. Let's just delegate. Let's stop with all the stress. You guys are busy, getting older, because y'all know Jackie is like at retirement age, right? Y'all know she's pushing 70. Yes, you're tired. You picked Toya just out of spite, but Toya has no experience. And just for being messy, y'all didn't even realize that Dr. Mimi has 10 years of experience. Okay, so let's try her out next year. It's only right, by the way, they cut up this year, because it seems like that's how you get the title of CFO, is you got to cut up at the gala last year. So I guess Dr. Mimi got it coming to her next year. Good. I love it. Let's do it. Now, besties, when they do it, give me my props. When they hand the baton over to Dr. Mimi, give me my props. But let's get into this episode. I'm not going to hold you. It is 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday evening. And your girl got to go to work tomorrow on her off day for the second day in a row. But I get Tuesday and Wednesday off, and I will be completely off because I don't have to do a recap until Thursday. So let's get into it, shall we? So the montage begins. Contessa is in a work van giving out shots. Okay. And then we got Toya. She's at home talking about cooking dinner. Eugene don't have a preference. So she say, okay, chicken tenders and fries. Heavily is over at the house in the kitchen cooking, telling Dr. Damon go wash his hands. He don't appreciate being talked to like that. She was like, oh yeah, I'm about to talk to you how like oops, sorry y'all. I'm about to talk to you like Toya talks to Eugene. Ooh. Anyway, the episode begins. So y'all know how Simone and Jackie meets up during their lunchtime at work. So they're outside at a picnic table somewhere new. I haven't noticed this place. So, they hook up. They talk about how they talked about the trip just a little bit. Jackie was saying how when you come back off a trip, it's just so much work to do. Like it's like you're being punished for going away. And then Simone is like, yeah, the couple's trip was cool, but we spent a lot of time away from our husbands. And so, okay. So Simone tells Jackie, honey, that Curtis gave King the business because that's what Cecil told her. Um, you know, Curtis was telling King that his house wasn't in order. He wasn't doing things in decent order according to the Bible. And that's probably why they haven't had a baby yet. Jackie says she didn't even know until she got to the airport and she overheard Curtis asking Steve, did he think that Curtis was being, do he think he offended King? And so I'm like, yes, you offended King. Anytime you have to question something about your actions, it's a yes. Why do you think your conscience is bringing that back to you? Why are you in this moment thinking, was I being offensive? Did I offend King? Yes, that's why it's on your mind. You want somebody to tell you no? So then she asked Curtis, like, what did he say? And she said, I'm gonna stick beside him, but I'm willing to tell him when he's wrong. Eugene, did you hear that? I'm gonna need you to I'll be on you in a minute. Cause yeah. So Dr. Jackie is like, in situations like these, you gotta speak positive. You can think what you want, but be quiet about it. Okay. Let this girl have this baby, okay? So when Jackie got word of it, she texts Quad and apologized, and she says she offered to meet with Quad and King to offer them an apology. So that will happen in this episode. So the Met Gala is coming up, y'all, in a couple of days, and they all are complaining that this text thread is going crazy because Toya, she considers herself and Jackie the original founders. This is the third year. Toya ain't had nothing to do with this gala until now. How are you an original? So she didn't correct herself like she was supposed to on the website. It was a picture of her and Jackie only, no one else. And she didn't even add Mimi, Angel, and Brandy to the core collective, right? So what they're going to do with the money is they're going to offer scholarships to med students this year. Very good. I can't remember what they did in the last 2 years, but this is what they're doing this year. Dr. Mimi is at home with her family. She's cooking spaghetti, and clearly she doesn't cook because she's asking, does sugar go in the spaghetti? And I've heard of people that add sugar to their spaghetti. I've heard that. I think it takes the bite out of the tomato sauce, but it's enough sugar in all foods. You don't need to add. But do you guys? I have a friend that he requires cornbread with his spaghetti. That's the only way he eats it. I was like, no garlic bread. He was like, no, I like cornbread with my spaghetti. I said, okay. So she's nervous in the kitchen about making the spaghetti, but she told him she got it. She got it, girl. So then we learned that they are building their dream home. It's going to be this brand new house. It'll be 5 bedrooms, about 8,500 square feet. I was like, wow, that is a lot of house. And they said that their son, Stevie, he's improving. His behavior is getting better. He has less meltdowns. Him and his sister have a better relationship. I said, okay, he not hitting her upside her head and slapping her no more, huh? Because he over there just mollywopping her any chance he get. So that's good. They said, so I noticed that the couple's trip is paying off because in their confessional, Steve is using his words to affirm her. And that's exactly what she said she needed from her husband. With all this that's going on with her son, she just needs the confirmation and the encouragement. And he gave it to her. Very good, Steve. Because honey, you about to upset me in a minute. But right now you did very good. Okay. Eugene has a new office. Toya has found him a new space. It looks nice. He got how many rooms? He got a few different rooms. I saw a big patio window. It's just all the things. Great job. Because remember, Contessa is building her office. So when they asked if he come over there, she decided to convert one of her closets into a space. They're like, no, thank you. But this office is gonna work. He'll be close to their home. It is only 20 minutes away. Honey, Toya was like, nah, bruh. You over there talking about 2.5 hour commute. You got to stay at a hotel, and the nurses there want you to come and be permanent. Honey, Toya said, watch this. Ha, She was like, reel it in, reel it in. My man, my man, my man. Not yours, mine. Heavenly is at the house. She's on the phone with Dr. Mimi because everybody is venting about Toya. Toya got everybody stressed out. They got hundreds of text messages. She's not answering anybody's questions. She's just demanding money. She done changed the venue, won't tell them where it is. She won't tell them where it is. Toya is like, stay out of mine. Let me do what I'm doing. She doing what she wants. And they all can't understand it because she don't have the right attitude. So Toya tells Eugene that, all the disrespect and all the folks that have cussed her out. I was like, only Heavenly cussed at you, girl. Simone did Simone cuss you out too? Because those are about the only two that I know that would cuss at you. Definitely Heavenly. But Mimi tells what needs to be done. She's talking to Steve and she's like, no. I guess Mimi was on the phone with Heavenly. So she's telling her like she got 10 years experience. And there's just a big problem in this collective because of the leadership from Toya. Heavenly says Toya don't know. She said Toya just don't do good business. She's not transparent. Just right? But Heavenly say all she want to know is how much money did you collect? How much money did you make, honey? So Eugene is telling Toya, that she just got a lot of negative feedback and he's just amping her up and just, being her husband. He's not holding her accountable. He's not checking her. He's not telling her where she was wrong and her attitude stank. He just going with the flow because he's trying not to be in a doghouse himself. Ugh. So over at Simone's house, the boys come over for dinner. I said, y'all not traumatized from the last dinner, honey? Huh. Well, Simone and Michael apologized to each other because, they kind of had the same personality, if you ask me. They look alike and they act alike. And then Cecil apologizes to Simone for not having her back. And then the other son, Michael, he says, Michael, the troublemaker, the spoiled brat, he's explaining to them, I ain't trying to be in your pockets forever. I want to become more successful than you. So I need you to amp me up and pay for my schooling because I want to show you the better things in life. I want to wow you. I want us to lock in. I was like, all right, Michael, with the know what to say. Michael got all the game, honey. Now I'm wondering, did Cecil put that battery in his back? I think he did. Cecil said, Mike, let me tell you what to do. This is what you say to your mama. Tell her you want to be better than her, more successful. Tell her you want to take her all around the world. And shout out to Lisa Stansfield, being around the world, honey. And it worked. It worked for me. But I bet you Cecil is behind that. And now, did I tell you? I know I did, but I just want to remind you. Now, remember when he said he needed a new car because he was tired of his Jeep? Simone went out and bought him a Tesla. So Miles, the older brother, tells Simone that, he understands that she tired of them and, because she's been working hard for so long. And she said, yes. And so they hug. So Simone makes a joke and says she going to go out and live on her servant's pay. So that means she going to be on a fixed income. She ain't going to have no money. Y'all going to have to grow up and do for her. She might be asking y'all for some money. Okay. So Toya is getting ready for the Met Gala, honey. The theme for the evening is living art. She changed the venue to a beautiful Black-owned, a woman Black-owned art gallery. It's big, it's huge, it's very well decorated. Eugene is like, oh my God, this is much bigger and it just looks so good. And it did. Eugene got his Louis Vuitton garment bag. Did y'all see the what's the suit? They said the suit came from like the Fresh Prince. I was like, Yeah, I didn't like that suit on you per se, Eugene. You wasn't dressed up enough. You wasn't after 5. And then I think he had on some little tie up tennis shoes or something. I saw that later. I was like, nah, Eugene, he was not doing it. He was not doing it. So Contessa is at home with this dress on, child. She got her everything is peeping out. Everything she got peepholes everywhere. Up, top, bottom, child. Dr. Scott is like, it looked like you setting yourself up for a wardrobe malfunction. So she's telling him about Toya. She's like, she just told us less than 2 days ago where the location is. And honey, she moved her arm and that idiot almost came out. He said, you need to go change your dress. That ain't gonna work. So Toya is at the gala bragging to Eugene that she pulled this off. She sold $10,000. She made $10,000 in ticket sales, and she will be able to give away 2 $5,000 scholarships. She think that's phenomenal. She said, "You can't beat that." I'm like, "Yeah, you can, Toya." They was making 100. I think they made. What did they make? And remember when Phaedra gave them a whole bunch of money? Yeah, they made close to $100,000 because they what did Phaedra had to give them something. So the core women, they all put in their $2,500 because Toya was on them. So that's 15,000, but that paid for the gala. And so Brandy and Angel bought tickets. Tickets went for $150 each. So Brandy must have bought, 2 tickets for her and her husband. So that was 300. Angel bought one. We didn't see Bernard. Bernard, where you at? Nope, because they're just friends. So that's that. Mimi and Steve, they did nothing. So that means that they should not be there. Toya said she almost invited Phaedra because Phaedra will pay. But I think, wait, was she supposed to give 10,000, but she didn't? It was some astronomical amount she was bragging about, but then they came back and said she didn't even pay all of it. Something happened. Y'all remember? Something like that. Okay, we're gonna move on because we don't care. So is this Contessa? She's still talking about Toya. She was like, she got this diva-ish attitude and she just got the wrong attitude. So Contessa is explaining that when you do philanthropy, when you are giving and donating, and you're supposed to have a servant attitude, not a diva attitude. Okay? But hey, this is her thing. She want to put her stamp on it, and they just gonna have to let her. So it's time for the gala to begin. People are showing up, honey. The people are out. I saw Gary with the tea in the background. He was talking to Curtis. I was like, look at him with his shiny blazer on. You better go, Gary. Y'all know who Gary with the tea is? Okay. If not, go ahead and just Google him. But no, he's an air personality. He's on the Ricky Smiley morning show. And he had a podcast. It was him, a lady, I don't know her name, can't remember her, and Tambra. They used to be on the podcast. I don't know if they still have it or was it just a pandemic thing. But anyway, the people are showing up, honey. Jackie shows up, and honey, she see nothing but checkbooks. She's like, look at all these people. We finna make some money, honey. But I wonder how much did they make that night? Because if the people came, they bought tickets. So that went into the 2 scholarships. So nobody donated while they were there. See, that's the part they didn't show us. I don't know. I thought that you're supposed to auction things off. They were talking about the paint. Anyway, we'll get there. Okay, so here comes Simone looking good in her yellow dress. I was like, Simone, you look good. Yellow is your color. She looked really cute. And, of course, Cecil was looking very dapper. She gave Toya props for an amazing looking event. Here come Mimi and Steve. Mm. Here come Broken Brokey. Mm. They reminded me of Toya and Eugene back in the day, pretending like they all that, but they not. Just say your money is tied up in building your new home. Okay? Just say that. But these fools didn't even buy a ticket. So they come to the door. The lady's like, "Well, do you have your QR code?" They're like, "No." And she's like, "Well, yeah, that's what you need to get in." "Oh, well, we are guests of Jackie, Dr. Jackie Walters. We're her guests." "No, you need to be Simone's guest because Simone bought 10 tickets. 10. And she only needed what? Her, Cecil, I saw Michael and his girlfriend. So she had four. I don't know if Miles came with someone, but if he did, that would have just been six people. So that means she had 4 to 6. She's had 4 to 6 free tickets. So you need to be Simone's guest, okay? So the lady walks to Eugene to ask, and in the meantime, while she's going to get permission to let them in, they walk in. They just let themselves in. They like, "Bump that, we in here. We here, we in here now." I said, no, they did not just come in. So ghetto. So ghetto. And then, wait a minute. So Eugene, they said, okay, so in the confessionals, yeah, Mimi and Steve, they like, "Well, we came to the gala last year. We didn't buy no ticket. And no one told us this year to buy a ticket." I was like, maybe that's because y'all told everybody y'all wasn't coming. So Eugene comes up to the door and tells them, "Yeah, the ticket is $150 per person. Well, the money goes to the students." And Steve is like, "Well, you are aware that we gave $5,000 last year." Um, Child, Eugene was like, "Well, yeah, yesterday's prices and today's prices. You feel me?" Steve was like, "I don't." I was like, wow. Well, you can leave. You can leave. Why are y'all here? Why are you guys not understanding that you have to buy a ticket to get in? That's how this works. You can donate. You said you wasn't. You said you've been donating to Morehouse. You still mad about that lalique you bought last year. You mad about that bowl, the oatmeal bowl, the glass bowl, the ashtray. You still mad about that $5,000. And that is no excuse as to why you did not buy a ticket this year. I do not understand why y'all came to be embarrassing. And y'all still are, how you arguing with the organizers about their event? And just like they said, you play football. People have to pay to come see you play football. Now, when you get there, you can buy food, you can buy accessories, you can buy clothes, you can buy all the paraphernalia, but you have to pay to get in. Why are you giving these people a hard time about this med gala? What is going on? Just brokey, stay home. Tell them we understand you're building a home. You ain't got the $300. But I saw that Mimi was pulling out her phone to pay. Okay. Okay. They rubbed me the wrong way right there, honey. Child. So then Heavenly shows up. Girl, what do you have on? Her and Damon looking regular tacky. Simone said they ain't even dressed. They just looking regular tacky. Here come Brandy and all her art. She mad because she was like, "How come I took it up a notch, but everybody else dressed a regular tacky too?" I was like, "Wait a minute. Simone looks great. We don't expect much from Jackie. Simone looks great. Toya's face and her art is in her makeup and her hair. That was cute. Don't do that." So Toya was asking Simone, "Oh, so did Heavenly fly in on her broom?" And I will say Damon did look tacky. He don't never want to dress up. Ugh, he just ugh. Oh, it was so country. They just look country. That's what they look like. So, baby, they got lemon pepper wings for everybody. They are being served. And Mimi says, honey, if you serve wings, you're going to get wings coins, 15 cents per wing. And I was like, right. Like, there's another way you could serve chicken on a shish kebab. Put the little sticks, grill a little chicken, and put the sticks in it. Boneless. Where are the little but it's just so many other things you could have served. I'm sure they had other foods. They just, highlighted the lemon pepper chicken wings. And I don't know if you guys get the correlation, but in Atlanta, that's like lemon pepper chicken wing heaven. I think Tamar called it Lemon Pepper Island. She called it Lemon Pepper Island. Yeah, that's what she called it. So it's just a big thing. In Atlanta, chicken wings are a thing, honey, and their wings are good. But at the same time, deviled eggs, little spring roll cut in half, little tartare, a little cheese with a little piece of salmon on it. I mean, there's so many other things. Meatballs, even, but I don't know. But they just look so weird eating chicken wings dressed up. Oh, goodness. Toya. But 15 cents per wing, honey. So then Quad shows up with the look as if, a male gay escort. And it's like, uh-oh, what happened? Oh, goodness, she putting it out there, child. But no, somebody asked, where's King? Oh, he's coming. He's at a wedding reception right now. And baby, when he showed up, King looked good. Was he in the wedding? Because, baby, that looked like a rented tux. He had the shiny shoes on. King looks good. And y'all, besties, when I was watching King, and then I looked at Angel, and I was like, I want to see them together. They make a cute couple. Like, Quad is a little older, she looks like she's a little older than King. But him and Angel would make a great couple. Okay, that's just want to share. So Steve is telling Eugene that he don't like being singled out. You know what? Shut up. Like, Steve, if you don't want to be singled out, you should have bought a ticket. What is happening? Why are y'all acting like broke and brokey? You coming in, don't want to pay. The lady said pay. Like, what is all this hoopla about? So Eugene is like, look, Toya was trying to explain to y'all the confusion that was going on in Jamaica, but y'all kept cutting her off. Toya says, what's not cool is y'all coming and not supporting the cause. And so they're like, she's like, I told your wife everything. And she said, y'all was going to sit this one out. Y'all could have bought a ticket. Steve says, they were coming to buy art. They were going to contribute much more. They was going to contribute much more than just a ticket, $150 ticket. He like, so do you want the ticket or do you want the donation? Sir, we want both. Both. And Steve, you look stupid because as much as you wear on your back every day, you Louis Vuitton out every day. Why are you in here making such a big deal about this $150 ticket? What is going on? You was really sitting here tripping off this little piece of ticket. You still mad about that glass bowl you bought last year for $5,000. But why are you here with all this mess? Y'all said y'all wasn't coming. What are you here for? Why are you here? And why didn't nobody kick them out? Do we need security at these Med galas? So Steve says this event is in poor taste. No, Steve, you needed to buy a ticket. Y'all are in poor taste. Now here go Mimi. She feel like Toya don't like her and she don't know why. And I'm like, girl, you can't keep Toya's name out your mouth. Every episode in this season, 14 episodes, you have had Toya's name in your mouth. She is all you talk about. You talk about Toya and you talk about your son. God bless. But girl, you keep Toya on the brain. So Jackie and Curtis go over to Quad and King and give a heartfelt apology. Quad said, okay, because I was baffled, Curtis. He was like, I know, we got differences and it's okay. So Quad was like, he was coming across as self righteous and judgmental. Oh, he can have an opinion, but being judgy, nah. But she thanked them for apologizing. King was like, it's cool, whatever. And so all is well. So Simone gives Toya a little pep talk and she compliments her again on the beautiful event. Everybody's like, this turned out very well. But she said, don't charge another person for a ticket. Let your defenses down and be in the moment. She said, you're doing a wonderful job. Top tier. Excellent, honey. Chef's kiss. So Toya and Jackie go up on stage to give out the scholarships to these two beautiful young ladies. One lady is a single mom. They're in med school and they need these scholarships, honey. So they give their little speeches. One was thankful, one just couldn't. She said she couldn't even put this into words, but she was grateful. And then, honey, Heavenly asked for the microphone. And we all like, oh my goodness. Oh gosh, what's she about to say? Oh no. But honey, lo and behold, do y'all know Heavenly gave Toya her props? She was like, this is a beautiful event. We gave you so much. She said at first, you was doing whatever, doing too much. But Heavenly gave Toya an A plus over F. She got an A plus for the event, but an F for her attitude. And then everybody hugs, and pretty much they start partying and having a good time. I heard a little maze before I let go. I heard them play a little bit of that. Simone's son goes up to Simone, Michael goes up to Simone and he points out that he noticed that she's not speaking to Heavenly. Simone is like, nah, I ain't doing that here. I'm not speaking to her and I'm not gonna do all that. She don't have no loyalty and I'm not speaking to people that don't have loyalty. Simple as that. Heavenly feels like Simone holds grudges. She does not. So she goes over and she asks, can she dance with Cecil? Simone was like, yep. And so she was like, well, you could dance with my husband if you want. Girl, nobody want to dance with him. Child, please, over there looking like Mr. Roper. With that blazer on, with that tie and a shirt and some girl. Dude, I think, what, Dr. Damon, I think he's picked up some weight. And I think he can't fit. Dr. Damon, I'm sure, is a type he owns a tux, he owns his suits, but he probably can't fit them, besties, because he looked like he didn't picked up some more weight. And I guess he couldn't go rent a tuxedo in time. I don't know. They just give country vibes. They just do whatever, child. He just don't never want to dress. But golly, put on a suit, bruh. You didn't want to go get a suit. You knew all for 14 episodes you was gonna end up at a gala. Okay, Dr. Damon. Okay. And he losing his hair in the middle too. Okay. So did I say what she oh yeah, she got okay. So we pretty much wrapping it up, huh? Then we see Heavily dancing with Steve, honey. Everybody grooving. I saw fans, and so I said, oh, I saw Mimi with a fan in her hand, honey. I'm like, they probably dancing the boots on the ground, honey. And then production asked Quad, like, what's up with her and King? What's up with the future? Honey, Quad was like, no words. She ain't got time to waste. She was at the party talking about something about another man. I said, oh, Quad, what's going on, girl? But Bessie, that was the end of the episode. That was the end of the season. And honey, besties, we only have a 2-part reunion. Because nothing really happened this season. Nothing. They're going to talk about Toya flashing on Eugene. They're going to talk about this gala. And that's pretty much it, right? And Heavily and Simone and oh gosh. But honey, The previews was given. Now, did y'all hear Steve call Eugene Bush? They tell Eugene you needed to check your like I said, they tell him you should have checked Toya. She was out of line a lot of times, and you did nothing. I'm like, y'all know she embarrassed him in front of y'all. He wasn't gonna say nothing else to her. No, 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 not here. He ain't finna do it. But besties, drop down in the comments and let me know what you thought about this episode. I am so happy that we're gonna wrap this up in two reunions, two parts. Great. They're reading the room, they're listening to us because there's nothing to talk about for three dango episodes. And like I keep saying, they could wrap this up in 90 minutes, honey. But it looks like the women have the platform, and then all the men are gonna come out. And honey, Steve is like, okay, calm down. I'm looking at he like, he trying to come back next season, y'all. But please, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Subscribe, please. Hit the like button. If you've been here, like, hype, comment, and I will hit you back. And besties, I'll see y'all in a few days. I'll be back with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Bye, besties.